So I know a lot of you guys are seriously struggling when it comes to cold outreach. What message do you send? What do you say in the message? How do you approach a client you potentially want to work with? And in this video today, I'm going to share with you 2 frameworks that have really helped me when it comes to landing clients, when it comes to getting in meetings with 7-figure, 8-figure, 9-figure CEOs who are open to the idea of me doing business with them. I'm also going to show you examples of what not to say when you're outreaching to potential clients and what to say, what works really well. I have personally sent out tens of thousands of manual DMs to potential clients now. I also get pitched daily, multiple times per day on a day-to-day basis. So I know what works really well. I know what makes me immediately avoid the person. I've got a good feeling for this. And if you stay to the end of the video, you're going to know exactly what you should be saying in your DMs. So framework of thought number 1, and this really is one of the biggest things you can know for your outreach. The biggest deals I've closed have never come from a cold pitch on the first message. They've never come from that. They've all come from a relationship over time. And the reason for this, and this is what a lot of the SMMA community get wrong, because they're all so focused on just like quantity. Here's a brand new method to do outreach. Do 100 of these a day, do 1,000 of these a day, etc. They don't ever think about that humans buy from humans. And they only spend large amounts of money on people they like. And I'm talking about large amounts of money from like 5 figures or above. And this is a lesson I have learned the hard way, and my clients have learned the hard way as well. A person is not going to give you a large sum of money if they don't know you, right? Because it's a huge risk to them. You might just run off with it. You might not provide any form of service for what they're giving you, right? It might be a poor quality service. They don't know. It's too big of a bet for them to take that any normal person would take if they're going to give you a large sum of money from just an initial cold outreach message, or like, you know, your 10 follow-ups that you do afterwards. What does matter is a person over time getting to know you so the relationship can continue, right? A big deal can literally be 6 months of your annual income. So if you can get just one of these clients, it's going to mitigate a lot of the other effort that you're going to have to put out there. So what's a rule you can follow to start opening up some of these biggest deals? First rule is don't try and marry on the first date. Think about business like dating, like building relationships. If you see an attractive person in a bar, you're not going to walk up to them and say, hey, let's get married, let's be in a relationship, right? It has to happen organically, otherwise you'll scare the person off, right? You have to find out a little bit about the person, have a bit of conversation back and forth, right? Maybe go to a different venue, okay? And this is really how the deals that are worthwhile closing actually close. Too many people are focusing on trying to get money in that first message. Let me show you one of the most common type of pitches that I get, which looks good from far away. It must look good from far away because so many people send me these types of pitches. And let me tell you exactly why I'm never going to buy from this person. So I've just blurred this person's name just to protect their identity, but this is the type of pitch I get on a day-to-day basis. Hey Rob, I see you've been having a lot of success with your high-ticket coaching lately. I noticed that you are currently taking YouTube pretty seriously and saw a few points. For example, video editing that could be improved to allow you to grow and scale faster. I actually help online entrepreneurs, coaches, and consultants grow on YouTube. Blah, 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 blah. I'd like to record a quick 3 to 5 minute video where I'll share my screen and show you some things you can improve to achieve better results. Would you like to see it? Take care. Reply no, and I will not send you any more emails. So now I can see it's an automated message, and a few things comes to my mind. This is so important. As a person who wants to do outreach, you need to understand the perspective of the other person. So I would be a high ticket deal to him if he got my business. But a few things come to mind. Firstly, he obviously hasn't really read enough about me to understand what types of problems I could be facing. For instance, he said, I can help you grow on YouTube, which is going to help build up your brand, etc. But the problem is that's such a generic message that you can pretty much say that to any YouTuber. Obviously, they're making more videos to grow more, and he hasn't picked out the exact specific problem I might be facing. He could say, I have noticed in video A, video B, and video C, you did this, when actually the results and the research shows that doing this could be a lot better. And the result of doing this is X, Y, and Z. This will help you grow more. That's instantly a better way to frame a pitch. He's finding a specific problem. He's obviously watching what I'm doing and has then made a specific suggestion on this. And then to improve on this even more, he could actually say to me, I've actually redone one of your video files with this little bit in there. Let me know what you think once you've taken a look at it. Here, it's completely free. I just want to get your feedback on it. And that's going to start a conversation with me. But the problem is with this current approach is he is basically blurring into the sea of people who are currently messaging me as well. So this person might actually do a good job, but I know that not that experienced when it comes to outreach. Framework number 2, if you are going to pitch like this, you have to make your message completely around me. Be interested in me first and also make my job and my life a little bit easier. There's a rule in how to win friends and influence people, and basically the rule is to connect with better people, you have to be interested in them first. You have to get them to talk about themselves because people love to talk about themselves. I actually got a harsh lesson on this from my uncle. So when I was a little kid, me and my mum, we used to go and visit my auntie and uncle, and they had like a really nice cars and they had like a massive house at all times. Anyway, I didn't really think about it at that point because I wasn't really interested in money as a kid. But as I got older, we kind of fell out of contact, and I didn't get back in contact with my uncle until I was like in my mid-20s, and I added my uncle on LinkedIn. And when I was looking at my uncle's About Me section on it, I could see that he was like the vice president of a global billion-dollar company. And so I reached out to him, I kind of tried to reconnect with him, and I was asking him for a few pointers that I could take away from my career. I was like, how have you done this? It's arguably a really, really tough achievement, probably tougher than entrepreneurship and earning a lot of money in there is becoming a VP of a global company. Like a lot of things have to go right because a lot of it is based in the hands of other people, like how far you go in your career. We've all worked for bosses who don't want you to go very far, who don't want you to surpass them. And he replied back to me, and he was basically like, the biggest lesson that you can learn in life is stop trying to interest people. What you have to do to build relationships is, first of all, be interested in them, and then secondly, show that you're actually an interesting person. And he was like, no one gives a damn about you at all. You have to give a damn about them if you want to go anywhere. And the same thing is true for messages as well. So if you're writing an outreach message and saying, blah, 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 I do this, I've done this for these clients, blah, 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 blah. Most people, because the topic is not about them, they're going to kind of switch off a little bit. So you have to instead start building up a contact base of people you're interested in, touching base with them, power players who actually have enough money and resources to just give you a little bit of their time and let you do a service for them, which actually can help you in the grand scheme of things and help you with like massive amounts of money. It might be a lot of money to you, but like not much money to them. So you can do this by framing your entire pitch around them. Hey, I noticed you did X, Y, and Z here. I see that you're trying to accomplish this here. Here's some value which I think might actually help you on your mission. Open to discuss something more if you want. Here's a few times I'm available, right? This is a much better pitch to people than the generic automated stuff which you're currently sending out. And that bit at the end, the call to action saying what times you're available, is absolutely key. Here's an example of me doing just that from a message I sent years ago. So this is the tail end of a message with a great clear call to action. We're living in a day and age where it's much easier to send over calendar links, which are great for convenience and availability and handling those back and forth messages. But if you're wanting to work with a person who's truly a client you want to work with, it's better to send something something like this, because A, it sounds way more tailored, and B, you're not making the busy person actually do the work for you. No person of value wants to get in a conversation which could potentially be a really long conversation with someone and not have specific time frames for it. So I've put here, would you be free for a quick 5 to 10 minute chat Wednesday evening after 7 p.m? I can send some brief notes beforehand, or I am free on Friday after 10 a.m. if that works for you. A person of value is gonna think to themselves, hold on, anyone can spare a 10-minute chat, right? It's polite, it's straight to the point. And secondly as well, you've gave them the choice between two times. If you're sending over a calendar to someone that has tons of times available, right? What happens with psychology and when people have got too much choice is rather than making a decision, they think to themselves, I'll get to that later, right? So it actually decreases conversions a little bit, which is contrary to a lot of popular beliefs at the moment. So if you only have 2 time slots available, the person's going to think, well, I know for sure that I can't make that one there, and I'll just go for this one there. You're making the decision for the busy person. Do you see how this works? And also, it's keeping control of the actual interaction as well, rather than leaving it open-ended and saying, when are you free? Or here's a link to my calendar, pick a time that suits you. When I do send over a link to my calendar, I like to also say as well, Monday afternoon looks good, or something like that, just to kind of direct their attention to that area there, to try and limit their options. So these are a few different frameworks that might work for you as they have worked for me, because at the moment I see there's a lot of people teaching in the SMMA industry, and just from the amount of time that I've spent actually reaching out myself in sales, in marketing, working for, 8-figure companies and teaching them and consulting for them, there's like so many mistakes that are beginner level mistakes, but seem to get like spread as the actual truth, which I don't want that to happen to you, because sometimes the advice, when it's kind of good but not that good, it actually leaves you even further astray. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This is advice which has really helped me in business. A lot of these insights as well has come from actually consulting for giant companies as well, 7-figure, 8-figure companies. So it works basically, okay? So if you want to see more of these videos, please like and subscribe to the video, and take care. See you in the next one.